Growing an e-commerce store is very difficult, and luckily with almost 5 years of experience in managing dozens of stores, I've learned 5 things that will actually contribute to growing your e-commerce brand. What's up guys, Nikita from aspectagency.com, and let's go ahead and get into the video. So the first thing you want to have locked down, and this is an absolute must, if anything, you should have this done first and foremost before doing any of the other steps, is narrowing down your ideal customers. Look, to be frank, most of your customers don't really care about your company. They don't care about who you are as an owner or who you are as a marketer. They don't really care about any of that. They only care about how your product will help solve their problems, or how their product will at least provide some sort of benefit to their lives. So you want to make sure the product that you're selling, you know that ideal customer, because most of the time they don't really care about your branding or the amount of times that you spent decorating your receipts or your website, because they only care about what that specific product does. And if you can target your ideal customer by knowing who they are and asking the right questions about yourself and about your product, then you'll be able to target that customer without even having to do any of the other fancy branding. Now, while the fancy branding is very important, you'd want to have those things. They're actually there to help support social proof. In the end, you can still pretty much sell, if you have your customers locked down and your product is that good over the competition, then people are willing to, go through a bad website or willing to go through an unbranded website that just sends the basic amount of stuff because you're the best at solving their problem. So make sure that you sit down and write this out. Go through and basically interview yourself and understand what your ideal customer wants, what their desires are, what their pain points are. Where does this customer actually live digitally? What kind of podcasts they listen to, what kind of books they read, what videos do they watch online, what influencers they follow. All of these questions you want to go ahead and ask yourself. If you want to understand your customer deeper, we have a whole section outlined this in our laser targeting your ideal audience blog post. So I would recommend checking that out. And there we have a list of questions that you can go ahead and ask yourself to understand your customer a lot better. Number 2, this is almost as important as the first one. And this is almost a necessity for you to move forward in marketing or doing anything with your store before you even open your store. And that's creating a no-brainer offer. Now ask yourself, what product line or what specific products that you offer in a specific combination put together will benefit the customer the most? That's basically an offer. And structuring an offer that makes it a no-brainer for a person to go ahead and buy is a part of the process. And not only will it increase your average order value, increase your customer lifetime value, but it'll also benefit the customer the most, even if they have to pay a little bit more. Like for example, if you were shopping for a toothbrush online, would you just want the toothbrush, or would it make sense for you to get the toothbrush and toothpaste? Most of the time it'll make sense to get the toothbrush and toothpaste because you can't have one without the other, or vice versa. That's basically what an offer would be, or shoes paired up with socks. Most of the time you'd wear socks with your shoes. Now, we don't really think about getting socks with shoes beforehand, but if they're a new revolutionary way of wearing your shoes, then it makes sense to go ahead and get those shoes and socks combo. Now, I like to think of an offer as a charcuterie board. All of those different individual pieces of a charcuterie board you can get in pretty much any grocery store and put a charcuterie board together. I personally like to save time. I would want to save time and not have to do all the cutting and all the organizing. I just like how they look. I like how pretty they are. So I would want to go ahead and just buy a ready-made charcuterie board. And that's essentially what an offer is. Stores online, you can buy socks anywhere, or you can buy these specific, toothbrushes and toothpaste anywhere. You can buy them on Amazon. But what makes your offer stand out? And it's how you basically put that offer together. Maybe for your toothbrush store, you have the toothbrush, you have the dental floss, you have the toothpaste, and you also have the mouthwash, all in a combined package that is also there to help you whiten your teeth. That's your main offer and your selling point. And if you buy all 4 of these things in 90 days, your teeth are going to be 1 or 2 shades whiter. So that's your offer and that's your promise. And that's essentially what that charcuterie board is, because people can buy all those 4 individual things together, but when you make it as easy as possible for one person to buy, of course it's going to be a no-brainer for them to go ahead and buy it. If you narrow down your ideal customer, a person that has yellow teeth and a person that wants to get their teeth whiter, and you put up an offer together that's a no-brainer. All 4 of these things will help your teeth get 1 to 2 shades whiter if you brush consistently for the next 60 to 90 days. So you want to be thinking of your products as well as your customer when creating these offers, and see how your products can benefit them the most. Number 3, you don't want to leave any money on the table. Now, there's a lot of things and a lot of mistakes that e-commerce store owners make when they first start out their store. And trust me, I've made tons of these mistakes, and I've learned from a lot of them, most of them, I'd hope. But you don't want to leave money on the table. Now, what do I mean by leaving money on the table? There's a lot of things you can implement into your store that can actually help increase your revenue just by implementing them one and done. And these are what I call the leave on the money table tasks. For example, conversion rate. Conversion rate is huge. Next up, email marketing. Getting email marketing automation set up, and upsells and downsell offers. What all 3 of these things do is help squeeze revenue out of your store. Conversion rate optimization. If there's a few tweaks you can make to your website, increase your conversion rate from 1 to 2%, that's 100% increase in conversion rate. You're 2xing how much profit your store actually, or how much revenue your store actually generates. Email marketing automations. Here you can help turn people that just want to find out more about your brand into actual customers through a 8 to 9 email sequence. Or you can increase or decrease the amount of people that abandon cart by having a 4 to 5 email sequence, helping push that sale and having people actually finish their checkout process versus them just, going on your site, like looking at the product, adding it to cart, and then leaving. With upsells and downsells, it's like if you're already sending traffic to your store, you might as well capitalize on things that can actually help the customer even more. So for example, back to that toothbrush example. If you're selling that toothbrush, you can go ahead and upsell them with floss, or upsell them with toothpaste, or upsell them with mouthwash. Those things can significantly help increase the revenue just coming into your store. Number 4, this is starting to implement paid acquisition funnels. This should be looked as pouring gasoline on fire. And the fire should be the things that are already working in your store. That means having a good ideal customer, or narrowing down your ideal customer, good no-brainer offer, and the paid acquisition and sending traffic to your store is basically just pouring gasoline on that fire that is your store. You're basically there to scale your store because you already did all the proofing and you've proved that your offer works. So paid acquisition, that's Facebook ads, Google ads, Pinterest ads, Snapchat ads, TikTok ads. All of those different ad channels are there to help accelerate your offer and actually take your offer on a mass scale. This also might mean for you to implement other paid acquisition channels. If your traffic is solely Facebook and 80 to 70% of your traffic is just from Facebook, there you might want to go ahead and start diversifying into Google, trying out TikTok, Snapchat, Pinterest, depending on your target audience, and seeing where they live digitally, not by their IP address. So you'd want to go ahead and see where it would make more sense to go ahead and go into a paid acquisition funnel. Now, number 5, this is to secure your long-term success. And these are all things that will help you once you sort of already have a good amount of cash flow coming in. All of these strategies are just here to help your brand become more of a household name, as well as something that stands for longer than, a Facebook ad update, or if TikTok changes their policy on specific things, your brand will still be able to weather those storms because of these things implemented. And number 1 is just implementing branding and branding strategies. Having your brand actually become synonymous with things that your brand provides. Like for example, Quip, back to toothbrush. Quip is the go-to, online toothbrush store, or like MeUndies is the go-to online underwear store, or Bombas is the go-to online sock store. Dollar Shave Club, go-to online razors. Becoming synonymous with your niche is gonna significantly help you, grow in the long term, and become synonymous with like, hey, where can I get a razor online? Dollar Shave Club, or even Harry's. Both of those guys. Next up, PR. Public relations pushing out content that is just going to help get your name in a positive light. Like, for example, Coca-Cola doesn't have to do advertising because of Coca-Cola branding. But then again, Coca-Cola doesn't have to do advertising because they do advertising, and they have that branding just stuck in your head because what do you want to drink when you're at a restaurant? Oh, Coca-Cola. There you go. Coke just made some money right there. And next up is influencer marketing. Utilizing channels like YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and having influencers promote your brand adds a lot of social proof to your brand. Whether you're starting out, one of these things can help you out. Like influencer marketing can help starting out, but influencer marketing can also help secure your brand long term. I mean, how many NordVPN ads have you heard while watching YouTube videos? Exactly. Or Raycon ads, or Brilliant ads, or Curiosity Stream ads, etc. Those all help secure your brand long term because it's just drilled into their heads about your product. And lastly is implementing SEO. And SEO takes anywhere between 6 to 12 months for it to fully pay off. So getting that set up as soon as you have cash flow and as soon as you're able to start reinvesting into other forms of growth, that's when implementing SEO actually is smart, because you can actually see results come in 6 to 12 months and then eventually 1 to 2 years down the line when you actually hit that ROI curve and seeing your returns come back after investing in SEO. So all of these things are very important to implement. The first two are an absolute necessity. The last three, you can start implementing them as you see fit, but the first two are absolutely necessary if you want to scale your store to become the best store within your industry. Now, are you a store owner and looking to add an extra $50,000 to $100,000 monthly recurring revenue to your store? Then let's hop on a scaling initiative call and see how Aspect can help your store grow. The link is down in the description below to book a call. Anyways, that's about it for the video. If you liked the video, hit the like button. If you have any questions about e-commerce or any growth tactics within digital marketing, put them down in the description or put them down in the comments below. And I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya.